Welcome to another episode of the Home and Away podcast. I am Kaleb, joined as always by my brother and co-host Jacob Cobby. How we doing this morning for us, evening for you?
I'm good, man. Off day, just chilling. How are you doing?
Great, man. Today, very special guest on the pod. You may know him from TikTok as the King, I believe is his title now. At one point, the reverse Wordle King. Now he's just the King. I've known him since we were in, I think, fourth or fifth grade. Nick Vogel, how we doing, brother? Thank you for joining us. We're glad we got first rights of having you on.
Absolutely, doing great. Glad to be with you guys today.
Absolutely.
I've been looking forward to this for a while. Been wanting to join you guys, and glad we're finally making it happen. So
Same,
should be
man.
fun.
We're excited. We're excited. I see the wall behind you and the new
Oh, yeah.
renovation. It looks
Yep.
nice.
Thank
How
you.
do you like it so far? Is it coming along?
It's great. Yeah, we use it every day. I knew we would, but I can't believe how much we use it. It's like all day, every day. So it's space we really needed, and it worked out. So we're really happy with it for sure. Yeah.
Six.
Yep.
Well, I guess we'll just jump right into it then.
Yeah.
Might as well get some TikTok talk out of the way first.
Get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way. First of all, congratulations on what was it? The word pyramid? Is that the newest game? The victory.
Yep.
I saw that yesterday.
Thank you.
Unbelievable victory, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's just walk through kind of how all the reverse Wordle now into reverse, like then you did the Wordist, now you're doing pyramid, and then you're doing the rankings. Like, how did this kind of all take off to the point where let me pull up the stats while you start telling, and then I'll give the folks the stats of where we're at right now.
Okay. I'll kind of start you from the beginning, because I think there was many months where it was really none of this stuff, honestly. So I probably downloaded TikTok maybe in like late 2019, like early 2020. Like I remember kind of scrolling through like during COVID a lot, like I think everyone kind of did. That's kind of like the peak TikTok era for me. So I was just scrolling through, and then, I like doing goofy stuff, and like I'm kind of creative in that way. So I was like, I'm just going to start posting some stuff, like kind of just following trends and like posting to funny sounds and stuff, like nothing that was really, I probably didn't even speak in any of my TikToks until like, maybe 6 months ago. It was really just like, I don't know, kind of going to the sound and like putting text over the screen, kind of like a lot of people do. So then I think it was maybe like September of 22, just like 5 months ago or 6 months ago. I saw a video of a girl kind of doing that reverse Wordle thing where she had the 5 spaces on the screen. She used that random letter filter to, try to make a word out of it. And I just saw that and I was like, okay, that looks fun. I just want to try that. I'm like, so I'm going to do this. Didn't think anything of it. I think it got like, maybe like 5,000 views or something like that. And to me at that point, that was like, I'm like, holy shit, I went viral. Like this is blowing up. And it was 5,000 views. Like all my videos before that are like 200, like maybe 1,000 was like the best I had ever done or something like that. So I was like, okay, I kind of want to, I see this as an opportunity to like kind of keep trying to do it, because I wanted to do it for myself first and foremost. Like I just wanted to see if I could do it. And then like as I kept posting this, like more and more people were looking at it, and more people were like starting to engage with it. And I noticed that quickly. I was like, okay, like this is kind of cool. Like, now I'm getting like 20,000 views on a video. Then like, I remember the first time I got 50,000 views, I'm like, oh my God, like what is going on? Like, this is nuts. Like people really, I don't know. I was doing it for myself. And then I don't know. It kind of clicked that I think people were enjoying it more than I thought they would. I guess I kind of hit the algorithm at like the right time. I still don't understand the algorithm at all, but I think that, enough people were seeing it and interacting that it was getting to some other people too. And there were some other bigger accounts that I followed that kind of do similar stuff, like rankings and filters and like word games and stuff. And I saw them like starting to do this too. So I think that kind of carried it forward for like smaller accounts like me. And then we just kind of kept rolling with it. And then, I ended up doing like the original series for Reverse Wordle ended up being like 32 parts or something. I got it on the 32nd one. And like that video blew up. I think that got like, I don't remember, like 500,000 views or something. And, and then the algorithm is so weird. Like once I had all that like bulk content out there, some of the views and some of the like interactions would be delayed like a couple months. So it was like, October, November, and I had completed this in like late September, and I just start racking up like 100,000 views on like a random video in a day. And that would kind of help me build some more followers along the way. And then you get to a point kind of where I was getting towards the end of that reverse Wordle thing. I was like, okay, I kind of have like a decent following now. I think I probably had like 10,000, like 15,000 followers at that point. I'm like, do I keep like trying to kind of carry this forward? Because I'm really having fun with this and it's really cool. But I was kind of getting scared, like, all right, I'm kind of, using this content, like this type of video as a crutch right now. Like this is kind of carrying me. Are people going to be interested after I stop playing this? Like after I win, like what am I going to do? So I just started like exploring different stuff. And luckily when you get a lot of people engaged, a lot of people would just comment like suggestions on what you should do. And I don't know if you guys have experienced that in like the podcast world, but it's really nice having people that like what you're doing and give you suggestions because they enjoy what you were doing anyway. And like people who listen to you guys, they enjoy listening to you talk. They don't really care who you have on or what you talk about, So anything that can kind of relate to them that they can hear you talk about is just a cherry on top for them. So I kind of feel like that's how it went. And I was like, I'm just going to keep going and try different stuff and really try to engage with the people who are, engaging with me. And now we're here and it's grown into this awesome thing that I never could have imagined at the beginning, honestly. Never.
Yeah.
Because I never did it for followers or for views. I really was just doing it, to have fun and kind of use it as a creative outlet for myself. So
I think it's just crazy that it's blown up and like it blew up through the Wordle stuff and like these challenges. Because like I remember when you said when you first downloaded, you were like doing goofy stuff. Like you just had like some super funny, like really funny TikToks, and like me and like my friends like Zach Lanen and like Caden Clark and stuff, like we always like send them back and forth.
Yeah.
And we always thought they were like hilarious and we'd always comment on your stuff. And
Yep.
like I remember like you said, you would get, not a ton of like views and stuff, and we might be like 4 comments on there, 2 of them might be like us. And now it's like if I still comment on your stuff sometimes, but I'm like the 1,000th comment sometimes or something. Like I don't know, like
it's
the
wild.
500th comment.
Yep. And that's I've said it a couple of times. Every once in a while I'll kind of make like a sappy post and just thank everyone for just really making it fun for me. But like I still feel like I'm at a spot where like every comment is special and like every like is still special. Like it still blows my mind. Like I don't feel like, I deserve anything that I've got, if that makes sense. Like if I see people that, I definitely do remember like you and Landon, like even Dan sometimes, Colin sometimes will comment on my stuff. And like I'll never like forget or like stop cherishing like those days, because like without like kind of taking the risk of like putting myself out there and like risking like being, I don't know, cringe or like embarrassing, like I never would have gotten to this point. So I'm glad I did. And I just appreciate, because I have a few people on there. There's a guy on there, I think his username is like Refresh My Ride. I think his name's Tyler. And he's been engaging with my stuff for like the longest time. Like I always like talk to him still and like just thank him, like, because there were times where I was like, man, the algorithm's stupid. Like I'm not getting any views anymore. Like, and he would just like encourage me to keep posting and stuff. So there are a few guys like that too, like in addition to you guys that I obviously know, that I, continue to like engage with. And it's really cool what it's become, honestly. So
how like, I will say out of I think the like freedom that you've had in like posting, like you said, goofy stuff, like obviously anytime you're recording yourself to start with, you feel kind of uncomfortable. I was telling Cobb the other day, like Cobb and I both posted like our first couple TikToks. Mine was actually my first. Cobb's posted a couple more, but I used to literally play the exact thing that I did where we like drafted a team and stuff. I used to do it for myself, like not record it, just go through the filter, draft myself, and then be like, that was fun. And then I was like, wait, why don't I just post it? Like it doesn't matter. If 5 people see it, then who cares? Like, so then I just posted it. I just like to tell you that I did blow up. I have 1,200 views on it, so it's not a big deal or anything. But
that's huge. That's your first one.
Yeah.
That's big.
And
that is nice.
We'll go through some numbers for the king, though. Literal title king. I can't believe you're not wearing the king beanie to start the day. First of all, I put on the beanie especially for you. Yeah, I think you probably should go grab it. Let's do that, and then I'll run through some numbers here while you're grabbing it. So at _ Nick Vogel, NICKVOGEL on TikTok, also known as the King. Used to be reverse world king, but now he's just the king of everything. The man has 72.1 thousand followers. If you look at his beanie right now, he is the king. I believe one of his followers sent that for him. 5.9 million likes. Like, it's just absolutely unbelievable. His pinned TikToks here, one has 320,000 views. The other ones have close to 100,000. He has multiple with hundreds of thousands of views. Like, it's insane. The next thing I want to dive into is one of your most recent things that's happened, though. The tattoo. Now, I have some concerns about the tattoo because,
and I already know what you're going to say.
Obviously, it worked out perfectly, right? Like, tattoo worked out perfectly. What were you going to do if it was just a terrible word?
I've thought about that many times. And it was going to be a tough decision either way, because I really it was part 32 and like people were following along and people wanted to see me get the win. So if it was a really, really terrible word, I was considering like not posting my win, which was going to break my heart. Like, it really was. Like, I don't know if I would have went that way. I really think I probably would have stuck to my word anyway and just posted the win and just like, I don't know, got something goofy, like a little like
a tiny one or something. Yeah.
Just a tiny one of the word. It worked out so well. Like, because like I said before, I've always kind of wanted a tattoo. I've always thought about getting a clock tattoo for my kids. Like, that's just something I've always kind of wanted. So it did work out. But yeah, that was going to be, I'm glad I didn't have to worry about it. People were like, what if it would have been Glock? Because it was one letter from Glock, and that would have been hilarious.
Hey, you could have just had a strap on, like, I don't know. You
it's like
a gun
tiny little Glock hidden
somewhere.
Yeah,
right. Just put it on there.
Well, I think a lot of people thought I was just going to get the word tattoo. Like maybe something like this.
Right.
Where it was like, and I don't know. I figured that would have been, I probably could have done that one quicker. And if I was thinking about it from like a kind of like an engagement, like creator, like TikTok mindset, I probably would have done it quicker. But since, I don't know, I wanted to take it serious and I wanted it to be a tattoo I really enjoyed and was proud of, Brad Dyer did it for me. He's the best. It was worth the wait. I had to wait like 4 months because he's just popular and is always booked up. So it was worth it though.
It looks good.
It looks great.
Seems like he's one of the most popular guys in the area for sure right now. First tattoos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's amazing. And he does the I wanted the kind of like traditional style tattoo, and he does that like the best I've ever seen. So he did a really good job with mine.
Yeah, it's amazing. We'll throw the picture up if that's all right with you. And
absolutely.
We'll throw the picture up. It looks absolutely amazing. I mean, came out. How did it feel? I know it was a long session, first tattoo. I don't think most people dive into a giant piece like that in their first tat. So how was that? And did we catch the bug also? Are we gonna get more?
We'll see. I'm definitely open to it now. It wasn't too bad. It definitely hurt. I feel like if it was like an hour or 2 hours, it would have been like just a little bit better. But like 4 or 5 hours, it's a long time to be kind of like in mild pain, if that makes sense. Like it was almost too long for me. I was really happy at the end that it was done. Because if I would go back and do it again, like for my first tattoo, I probably would have got something a little bit smaller, but whatever. It turned out good. So
were you like just vibing, like talking to Brad, or were you like headphones in, or like how are you doing? Because I know people are different with how they get their tattoos.
No, so Brad and I are friends already beforehand because our wives are close friends.
Yeah,
so
I sat next to him at your wedding.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and I've always really liked Brad and spending time with him. But I never have had like a one-on-one interaction with him because we're always with the families and stuff. So it was not, we really just had a conversation the whole time, just talked about, being a dad, and, I talked to him about tattooing and just all this different stuff. So it was really, really good time. And we just kind of, chatted back and forth the whole time. Surprisingly, there was really no breaks for like 4 or 5 hours. So it was nice. Yeah, he's a good guy.
I feel like I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to be headphones in. I think probably like watching a movie or something. I don't think I'll be able to just sit there and chat. I don't think I got it in me.
You don't think so?
I don't know, dude. I'm scared of needles. Oh, we got babies crying in the back. Sorry if you can hear that on the pod, but
Dad life.
Fatherhood. Nick knows all about it.
I get it.
Yeah, what's it been like for you? Just like, what's it like being a dad? What's the most rewarding thing about that, especially now that you've had your second kid now?
I think the most rewarding thing about it is probably seeing your kids, not just learn, but really learn something that you like intentionally taught them and kind of apply it. And that's always a really proud moment. Like, even if it's just like a simple, teaching Bennett manners, and you hear him like say thank you to somebody, like those are the most rewarding moments for me. There are moments that are, amazing otherwise, but like as far as rewarding, I feel like it makes me feel proud to have him, learn things, and just it's fun to see him grow. Honestly, it's every day he's learning something new, saying something new, just like keeps you on your toes. It's really cool. You don't have as many like rewarding moments with a little one, because Harper's 1 right now, but you have a lot of really like special moments and really like sentimental moments with that age, because now it's like, okay, when she says hi dad, and like those are kind of the first things she's starting to say, like those are really special moments too. And they all feel just as good. Like Bennett learning something new as a 3-year-old feels just as good as Harper saying I love you as a 1-year-old. Like it's all just different, but it's all special. And it's been great. I love being a dad. It's the best thing I've ever done. I'm sure Kaleb feels the same way.
100%. It's amazing. Like I told you guys kind of before we got started, Carson was up for about an hour and a half from like 4 to 5:30 this morning. And I just like brought him out to the living room and we were hanging out. And, obviously you're tired and stuff, but we do this thing all the time where we'll just go back and forth, especially in the mornings, because he's always so happy in the mornings. Like we'll just go back and forth doing like,
yeah.
And so he was doing it in the middle of the night, and I was like obviously tired, but cracking up laughing because he's like, come on, Dad, do it back.
Yep. We have those moments all the time. Those are hilarious, especially with the little ones like his age. It's so funny. It's so funny.
And they like start trying to like copy stuff that you do. Like I was playing with his toy yesterday, and then like everything that I would turn, he would want to turn right after. It's like, it's so cool because he's finally getting a personality. Melissa was crying the other day because she's like, he looks like a little boy instead of like a baby now. And there's just like so much development that's happening, and it's crazy to see him grow up. He's sitting up, he's starting to act like he wants to crawl. So like just seeing them learn it's unreal, dude. I can't wait to be where you're at with like Benny and stuff, but I also don't. It feels like it's going so fast already, and I'm scared, man. Like I'm like, come on, wait a second. We're just I want to just lay on the couch and hold you. So.
Yep, I know exactly how you feel. And if you have a second child, you'll approach it a completely different way too. Like no matter, I mean, I know that you guys, cherish every moment, and you probably get to spend more time with Carson than I did with my kids, because you probably have less help there than I have here. So there are a lot of weekends where, Jara's mom wants them, or my mom and dad want them. So it's a little different in that way. But like we cherished our time with Bennett while he was growing up and everything and going through all those stages. But when I had Harper, I was like, okay, like I'm not passing her off as much anymore to like let people hold her. Like I want to hold her more, that type of stuff. For both sides of our family, Bennett was really the first grandkid. So everyone was all over it all the time, which is cool. And everyone's excited, and it's fun to, celebrate that new thing with everybody. But yeah, that's something that I've kind of approached it in a different way with Harper is like, I really want to cherish like me and Harper time and not be so, eager is not even the right word, but just so like willing to let everyone else get like more time than me sometimes. So
I agree for sure. I think you talked to my dad about it the other day. Like Melissa and I are going on a trip over to Europe.
Yeah.
And even with that, like we like didn't want to leave him with my parents, and like obviously very much trust my parents to take care of our kid. Like they raised Cobb and I, but it's like we're gone for 12 days, dude. I don't want to go 12 days without seeing my guy. Like I literally haven't since he's been born. So 8 months, like Melissa's been on road trips for work and stuff. So like there's been days where I'm home by myself. I literally haven't gone a day in 8 months without seeing him. So like
that's
to go
12 days is a long time.
Right.
That's a long time.
And we just like in theory want to take him and stuff, but the flight portion of it, I don't think will work out. I think my dad told you to kind of give me a talk about leaving him at home. So
like, you gotta tell him. I was like, I'll tell him if we talk, but I'm not gonna reach out like specifically to tell you.
Just to tell him.
But now that we're talking about it, yeah, you and Melissa should enjoy that fully by yourselves.
After being on a 10+ hour overseas flight, I guess 8 times now. I also can tell you do not want to bring him on that flight, bro. I've seen parents on there, bro, and nothing about that looks enjoyable at all. No. And I've sat next to a parent one time that had a baby crying for 8 out of the 12 hours I was on this flight. And I honestly just want him to open the door and just let me jump out of the plane, I think, bro. It was tough. It was a tough scene, bro. So I think you guys will have a lot more fun and a lot more enjoyable time just being the two of you.
I think so too. And I think it's cool you're getting to experience this now. So then down the road, you know, when he's older and can actually appreciate it, now you're comfortable where you're going and you can really take him the way that you would want it to be.
Right. Here's the question I have, and we're obviously spiraling. I think you listen to the pod. This is obviously how it goes most of the time. We start off with an idea and then we just follow it down until we reach a dead end. But with having a kid, Cobb's reaction right there of let me just open up the window and jump out of this plane.
With a parachute, of course, land safe.
I feel like that's how I used to be when babies would cry before having a kid. Now when babies cry since having a kid, I'm like, oh, that poor little guy. Like, I wonder what's wrong. I just like, it doesn't bother me anymore. I'm just like, oh, I hope he's okay, or I hope she's okay. Has that changed for you, or is it still the same thing?
Absolutely. Yep. I'm in the same boat. And it's like, I feel bad for the parents too. Like, not in like a shut that baby up type of way, but like, man, I'm sorry you're going through that. Like I've been there. I think you just gain a different appreciation for parents.
It's not that I don't feel bad for the parents or hope that the baby's okay, but it's just like, bro, like so these flights are usually overnight and I know I'm going to land there. Okay. Like if I'm going back home, honestly, I don't care. I don't have a care in the world because I'm just excited to be back home. But like when you're going over there and you don't even know what to expect when you land, and you know, like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to land here, drive to wherever the city is, and then practice in about 3 hours. And you're like, okay, I have an overnight 10-hour flight and I'm supposed to sleep on this. And it's just like a little selfish, obviously, but it's just like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. But like, I do feel bad for the parents because sometimes you can tell they're getting like a little bit like, not embarrassed, but like, you know what I mean? Like when, like there's nothing they can do. It's like they're trying to do everything. And it's literally like, but it's probably partially like, okay, like you got to think like your ears hurt whenever you fly. Like, okay, if you're a baby, you don't know how to say like, oh, my ears won't pop. Like you just cry. Like, so I totally get why the babies are crying usually.
Yep. Yeah. It's like, I know that they feel guilty because I would feel guilty. So I'm like, I feel guilty that they feel guilty. Like I almost want to go over and be like, you're okay. Like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm not mad at you that your baby's upset. You know what I mean?
Exactly, bro. Melissa and I literally did that in the grocery store like a couple weeks ago. We were at Aldi, and you could literally hear this baby like crying. And you know, like the difference between there's like a baby crying and then there's like a newborn baby crying.
Yes.
This was like a straight newborn baby, bro. And it was crying the whole time. And we were like, yep, like we've been there. And this random lady came up to us and was like, can you believe that baby's just been crying the whole time and she didn't take them home yet? And I was like, bro, what's she supposed to do? Like not get groceries? Like
Yeah.
you have to get groceries. So then the mom came around and we were like, hey, like how old is he? And it was like a 6-week-old, like brand new baby. And we were like, it's okay. Like, don't worry. Like, you're doing a great job. Cause she was by herself. And
Yeah.
she was like,
That's
oh,
tough.
thank you guys so much. And I was just like, bro, like, that's why parents get embarrassed or get worried is because, like, random people will be like, you should take your baby home. Like,
Right.
well, I still have to do shit.
Yeah.
What do you
You just go
mean?
drop him off and I'll swing back. He can
Yeah,
just chill by
exactly.
himself while I get groceries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's
It's tough.
let's dive into some other stuff. I know the biggest thing for me that I wanted to talk about on top of TikTok, which I feel like we covered pretty well, but we got a trip coming up, man. I'm
We
excited for it.
do. We
I'm
do.
excited.
I've been looking forward to it. It's gonna be here before you know it. I think we're like right at 2 months out. It'll be here really quick.
So Nick and I, along with two of our other friends, Chris and Connor, we're heading to Augusta, Georgia, taking a practice round at the Masters. Cobb, hate to be the one to tell you, I fly out on your birthday, so I get to
Fine with
celebrate
me,
your
bro.
birthday. I get to celebrate your birthday. Melissa is calling it a dad's trip, although Connor does not yet have a child.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair though.
but
Maybe he's close. I don't know.
he's dad-like enough, I think.
Yeah,
So we'll be
He's got
going
enough
down
dad
there.
jokes for sure.
yeah. There you
Absolutely.
go.
Absolutely. So we'll be going down there, catching a practice round. I know you've been technically have supposed to been twice, kind of gone a half of time so far. I went once, I believe it was 2008. So I was in like 7th grade. So it's tough to remember at this point. I could not be more excited. Kind of talk us through your experiences in the last couple of years of getting rained out and COVID obviously pushing it back and then kind of this trip coming up. And it's a little bit of a homecoming when you go down for you. So talk about that as well.
Yeah. So I'll start with the homecoming piece of that. So throughout my life, my dad's work has kind of taken him around the Augusta area. I think there are some like chemical plants and stuff there that he works at every once in a while. And I know some of his old companies, like they had people down there too. So like that was always a spot that he was traveling. And I think it was first grade. My parents got an opportunity to move down there for his job, and we did that. And I lived in the Augusta area. I lived in a smaller town called Grovetown, which is it's near Augusta. It's all like kind of the Augusta area. So we lived down there for a year. I don't remember too much of it. Like I just know that, I did the same stuff there that I did here. I played baseball and football, like in the rec league or whatever. Had some really good friends. We had some good close family friends that we kind of bonded with. There's a military base there called Fort Gordon. So there were a lot of families that were also new to the area, like kind of coming in and out all the time. So we met a family there that we bonded with really well and became really good family friends. And Caleb, I don't know if you ever met CJ, but he came and visited us maybe like once or twice, I think like in middle school.
Yeah, we played wiffle ball with your dad in the Trimby Middle School parking lot.
There you go. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. So I think we, like my mom and his mom, I think kind of bonded over like the fact that they didn't know anybody and they were in this new area kind of by themselves because his dad's in the military. I think he's Army, like a life or two. Like he might still be in the Army. I don't really know, but he's like, you know, full time. So that's kind of how it started. So we had, kind of roots in Augusta a little bit, but I'm going to try to remember this correctly because it has been like a few years of like trying to go there. I think we got tickets for 2020. And you find out that you get tickets for 2020 in 2019, obviously. So at that point, like COVID wasn't a thing. We had no idea. Then COVID hits in like March of 2020. And then everyone is just like, that's when the wave of like, the NBA's canceled. Like this is canceled. Everything just started shutting down in those like couple weeks. And then sure enough, we heard like, because it was like a month later, a few weeks later that Masters was going to be canceled. So we're like, all right, whatever, we'll get to go next year. No big deal. And at that point, all the COVID stuff was like still up in the air. So like no one really knew anything. So then I guess in 2021, no, so let me step back a second. So for 2021, they were going to do limited capacity. So basically all the people that were going to be able to go in 2020, they were going to split that group in half and let one go in 2021 and let one go in 2022. So we missed the boat in 2021, weren't able to go because we weren't in the half that got selected or whatever for that. 2022 we go and we get rained out. So now I'm going to be going finally, hopefully we don't get rained out again, but we'll be going in 2023, 4 years after I found out that I was going to be going. So it's kind of a wild ride, but I will tell you though, we went last year. My dad and I, his brother Steve, and my uncle Barney or Terry, like Sam's dad.
Yeah.
So we went down and it was a really fun trip. We did get to see the course. Like we went on and like it didn't start raining till like, maybe an hour or two after we got there, which is shorter than we would have liked. But I'm glad we got to at least see the course. Like I'll tell you, and Caleb, you've been to the course, right? You went with John back in the day.
Jonathan Wiffle.
So like seeing the course on TV, like you obviously know it's beautiful and it's like it's pristine and all that stuff. It just after seeing it in person, it doesn't do it justice. It's ridiculous. And I can't believe how hilly that course is. Like there are so many slopes that are like, looking down the hill, it's like 40 feet down and you would never know that on TV. Like, and there is not a single weed on that course. There's not one like piece of mulch out of place. It's the most beautiful golf course I could ever imagine. And you see it on TV and you see all these pictures of like Amen Corner and all that stuff. But until you see it in person, you can't appreciate it like fully. And I'm so excited to go back. I hope we get good weather and we get to spend a full day out there. Like we're going to have a blast for sure.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing is like, I went again, it was like 7th or 8th grade. And obviously like Cobb and I grew up playing golf. Like we would go to like Cloverleaf with my dad. And then at one point they even had like a camp at Cloverleaf that we went to. So we were like around golf and we liked golf, but I think most young kids, like you want to play basketball or baseball or whatever, like one of the major sports. And so just wasn't as focused on it. And we would watch golf. I always watch the Masters. But especially because it's always Easter weekend for the most part, or right around Easter. So you have like the whole family hanging out. But you just like as a 7th or 8th grade, like you don't appreciate things like that as much. So I'm so excited to like go there and like just experience it. And like I'm gonna be nerding out because I've like especially in the last like 4 years, like have gotten into the research of golf so much more and like courses and like obviously have favorite players and stuff. So gonna be nerding out, probably spend a whole bunch of money at the pro shop, like eat all the random cheap foods because that's how they get you. But I'm pumped for it. I know that's one of my kind of bucket list things that I'm like, I got to take my dad to the Masters at some point. We have obviously a big sports family, just like you. So taking your dad to the Masters was probably an amazing experience. And for those who don't know, like you can't just buy tickets to the Masters. You have to win a lottery to be able to buy tickets. Like, and I think I read a thing that said, like it's very difficult to get in. You can purchase, 4 tickets for practice rounds, I think, and 2 tickets for like the actual playing round. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you have to win the raffle to do so. Is it, you would know better than me, do you have to, once you've bought, like you re-enter though? So for you, like if you wouldn't have got rained out, would you have been able to purchase again the next year, or do you have to re-enter?
I think you have to re-enter.
Okay.
I think you have to re-enter. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I just think if you didn't have to, I feel like the first time everyone just would never, no one else knew would win.
Right.
So I'm assuming that you have to re-enter.
I would assume so too. And it's not like, the weird thing is too, like I'm trying to remember correctly because I've researched it a few times, but like you have to, your tickets basically get assigned to someone in your family. Like, so you can't just go resell tickets either, because then like I don't think it works that way. I don't think you're able to.
I know you're not probably technically allowed to. I think what a lot of people do is, and here's the thing too, like the tickets are actually like pretty cheap, relatively
Right.
speaking, I think. And like, I feel like a lot of people who are entering that raffle, like, especially if you get a practice round, like you probably just want to go.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Most people who are like gung ho on getting that, like if it was more of like a, you know, like a ticket master type thing, I feel like you'd get a lot more like scalpers and stuff trying to get those tickets and resell them. But
Right.
like, it's for people like me and you, if I'm entering that raffle, like I'm hoping I get to go to the Masters. Like that's kind of the point.
Right.
I know a lot of people will, because for a lot of older people and even young people, honestly, like a full day out at the golf course. Cause I mean, you're getting there at like, we're going to get up at probably 5 o'clock and go.
Yep.
So we can go get a spot we want, like make sure that we see everything we want to see before we sit down and like, you know, just chill for a while. Like some people don't want to be at the golf course from like 7 a.m. till 4 p.m. Like that's just too much time out in the sun for some people. So I know a lot of people will go in, use it for a half day, come out, sell it for like to someone outside for more than they bought it for. And like they basically got to go for free. I know that happens for sure. I just don't think a lot of people resell them online or anything because I don't think you can to.
Right. Cobb, what you got?
I was just gonna say, since we're on this topic, do you guys have any favorite Masters moments from watching or anything like that? I know my favorite. I can start it off. I think my favorite was, and only because I remember, like you said, I think it was Easter, and I think we were at Uncle Jay and Aunt Sue's house, Caleb, when they used to live behind us, I believe, and Bubba from the Pine Needles.
Yeah.
Like I just remember everybody, like it was getting close, you know, and everybody was over there for Easter, like having a good time, whatever. I think it was on Easter. Maybe it wasn't, but it was somewhere around there. I don't know. For some reason, like the whole family was over there. And I remember we all went to the basement to see the end. And that shot that Bubba hit was crazy. I forget which hole it was on, but I just remember like the whole family was in there, like couldn't believe that he made that shot.
For me, I have, I guess, a couple like TV wise. It's not like one of the most famous moments or whatever, but like my favorite golfer is Dustin Johnson. So him winning the Masters was like a huge, I don't know, like experience for me golf wise and watching just, it was the November one. So it was the COVID one that got pushed back. I had like in the last year before that gotten like even more into golf. So like I was watching basically every week, like listening to a bunch of golf podcasts, watching golf. You like literally all I did was pay attention to golf.
Mm-hmm.
And then that one and then the only memory that I really have vividly from the practice round that I did go to was obviously everyone, well, not everyone knows this, but anyone who like pays attention to the Masters or anything like that, at 16 they always try to skip the balls across. And I was like in a grandstand where the back of the grandstand, so we couldn't see it, was to 16 in the water, and you just heard like a giant roar, and it was Vijay Singh had skipped it across and got a hole in one. So like those kind of things, you just remember the roar of it, and you can kind of hear it like building. And obviously practice rounds, you don't hear it as much as like Saturday or Sunday with Tiger doing it, but it's crazy how something happens like a few holes away and it's exciting. Like you can hear the roar and you can hear like the echo building throughout the course. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And you think about like how that plays into like the mental game of the players that like they can hear. Cause I know I've heard a ton of stories of like, okay, you know, Tiger was like 2 behind or like maybe 2 down going into like Sunday. And like you're playing in front of him and you hear the roars of like Tiger's crowd behind you. Like, you know, that just starts messing with you. Like, right, damn, sure, he just made a birdie or something. He's catching up. Like that, the whole mental game with that is crazy. And I think, you know, something that's kind of misunderstood, I think golf courses have a lot more energy than people think they do. Like when we had the what was it, the PGA Championship in St. Louis, I went 2 days. I went on Friday and I went on Sunday, and it was electric. Like people go crazy. Like you just, you know, a lot of people who like the golf isn't a sport type people who are like, you know, like golf clap and it's too like, you know, too uptight and all that stuff. Like, no, it's really not. Like people are having a blast out at that course. Like, yeah, you have to be respectful when someone's hitting and like be quiet, but that's just like, you would do that at Cloverleaf. So right. I'm telling you, it's a blast. We're going to have a great time, and especially it being a practice round. It's going to be so laid back, and you know, you're going to get you can really just park anywhere and you can watch, you know, the 40 most famous golfers in the world just pass by you, like right in a row. Just sit there and watch them play. Like it's crazy.
It's gonna be.
It'd probably be. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's probably like a little cooler on the practice rounds too. I feel like there's like always some cool fan interactions and stuff, and like the players are a little more loose because it's like obviously they're trying to get ready, but it's not winning time yet. So
Right.
I've definitely seen like just from practice rounds at other events in the past too, even just like clips you end up seeing on social media where they just look like they're having a blast out there. I mean, they're trying to skip it across at 16 and everything. Like I think those moments are like honestly really fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would say back to like my favorite Masters moment. I mean, I have a few from like back in the day. I don't think I appreciated golf as much. Like I remember watching the Masters every year and probably all the majors, like just kind of tuning in. Like, you know, you always like wanted to see if Tiger was winning. That's kind of how I watched. And everything, any memory I have from that has just been like trumped by Tiger's recent win. Like, dude, I think I speak for a lot of people. Like I've never been so glued to my TV during a major ever. Like I watched every minute of every day. Like couldn't get to the TV fast enough if I had to like leave my house or whatever, because it was just like, you know, that was a win for everybody. Like everybody needed that. Everybody wanted that. It was one of the coolest sports moments ever, not only just golf. So that outweighs everything else that I ever had. Because I saw something the other day. It was like how crazy like the betting odds used to be with like Tiger. It was like almost even odds between like Tiger and the field.
Insane.
For like the Masters, it'd be like, you know, Tiger minus 250, the field like plus 200 or so, or
Right.
what opposite.
Right.
Plus 250 and the field was like minus 200. Like how nuts is that?
Yeah, one person. And like now, like the like lowest odds you'll get is like 7-1 sometimes, and that was when DJ was like going crazy, beating everybody.
Right.
And like it's just insane because you don't get anything like that anymore. I know I had, before we like jump into some like childhood stories, I'm sure we kind of all three obviously grew up together a little bit, so I want to share some stuff. I had one more topic, unless Cobb, do you have anything you wanted to bring up?
No, I'm good.
I have one thing that's I think near and dear to all three of our hearts is sneakers. I think we all have a great appreciation of sneakers. I know you were much more in like the buy sell trade game for a while. I think that slowed down a bit here with 2 kids now.
Yeah.
Kind of talk to us about maybe your favorite pair of sneakers you've owned. I think I know the answer, but I'm interested to hear it. Favorite pair of sneakers you own, like craziest pickup you've ever got, anything like that. And we can kind of go around, just chat about some sneakers. I know like two of the 3 pairs that Cobb has that are like the rarest, I think I would love to say that I got for him, and he also did sell one of them, which is, you know, it is what it is at this point. But let's bounce around and talk about some sneakers here.
Yeah, so for me, you're kind of right. I have kind of fizzled out of that phase. There's just a lot of money and a lot of like being pissed off that I wasn't winning sneaker raffles, like the sneaker app. So like I got burnt out on it, honestly. Like it was fun for a long time. But for me, like kind of the way that started was I've always appreciated sneakers and I've always like been a fan, but like I kind of grew up in a family where like I probably wasn't going to get like $200 Jordans.
Yep. Same.
And like, I'm not saying I always got nice shoes that I needed, like, but it was like, you know, maybe $100 pair of shoes, not a $200 pair of shoes.
I would say your parents are similar to ours. Like to this day, when I buy more expensive sneakers, my dad is like, "Why are you doing that?" Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like dad's loosened up a little bit though over the last like once he started wearing 990s, because like those are an expensive pair of normal sneakers.
He realized that expensive shoes are just better most of the time.
Yeah,
they are. Yep, they are. They absolutely are. But yeah, that's kind of how it started for me. I always just like appreciated it and I liked it, and I just feel like I never had the access either. Like I wasn't going to spend my extra money as a kid on like sneakers. I was going to buy like a video game or like, you know, just something different. I'd even be probably more likely to buy clothes as like a kid than I would shoes. I don't know, maybe that's
sure.
just me, but yeah. And then like the whole like kind of like hype beast era happened, and I just like watched some people on YouTube and stuff, and I found it really entertaining. And I was like, I've always liked these shoes. I just have never seen content kind of based around it. So there were a lot of like, and then there were like the sneaker shopping videos with like Complex or whatever.
I love
and
those.
like all that
The
stuff
best.
blew up, and I was just kind of into that. And I was like, maybe I could just, I don't know, try some stuff on the side. So yeah, I did that for a while. I think the favorite pair of shoes that I ever like owned, I didn't have it for that long, but it's got to be those Sean Weatherspoons.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Those are easily, those are the coolest shoes I've ever touched. And I sold them way too early. I kicked myself. All right. I did. I kicked myself every day for a long time about that. But, there was something else I wanted at a show. I don't even remember what it is now, which is the stupid part. I don't remember what I wanted, but I wanted the cash. I think I sold them for like 600 or like 650 at the time. And at that point, it was a lot, but dude, they were like, I remember looking and they were like 3,500 for my size at one point. I was like, man, I'm an idiot.
Nick, I truly thought that when you got those sneakers that you would own those until the day they either fell apart or the day you died. Like they were so perfect to your style though. Like
I know.
the like corduroy on there, like the different colors. Like I literally thought that was gonna be a pair that you owned forever. Then you sold them and like at that point kind of got a check off of them, especially since they were worn. But like you said, they've blown up even more since then.
I think here's the thing. If I would have been my age now and like my point in life now, I probably would have kept them forever. But I was to the point, like I was scared to even wear them, dude. Like, I'm like, I know these are worth, that was the tough thing for me too, is because like, I love the sneakers so much. Like I want to wear them. I didn't want to be the guy that just had like a stash of like 100 boxes of DS sneakers that I'm never touching. Like I'd rather have 2 or 3 like kind of mid-range, like expensive pairs that I actually rock so that I can really enjoy them. That's kind of what I graduated to. So
I totally, as someone who's done that before, like I totally know where you're coming from. Like I did the same thing with like Caleb was on when the original 10 dropped from Vogel, and I had practice, so he's like, oh man, get on, like sneakers about to do all the drops, blah blah blah. And I'm like, bro, I got practice. I was like, he's like, are there any that you like a lot? And I was like, I really like the vapor flies, right? That's what they were. Like I really like the vapor flies, like because I don't know, I like running shoes and stuff. I really like vapor flies. And I was kind of thinking in my head, like those are probably one of the least hyped ones. Maybe won't be as many people entering. He's like, all right, I'm entering all of them, but I'll enter a 15 for the vapor flies. I was like, all right, appreciate it. And I think you entered in every single one of the 10, and then the vapor flies hit in my size. So I got them from Kayla. I gave him the money and stuff, got them. And then they sat there for a long time. I remember putting them on one time and I was about to go outside and I took them off. I was like, bro, I can't do it.
Hey, StockX. Hey, hang on. StockX, you just heard. He put the shoes on, bro.
Hey, they still sold DS, bro. Hey, come on now. Hey, but then I was like, man, I can't do it. You know, like they were worth at the time, like I think like 400 or something. And then they got up to 800, and I was like, bro, I can't wear $800 sneakers. I just can't do it. Like you said, like I'd rather sell them and buy I could sell them and buy 4 pairs of $200 sneakers that I'll actually rock. So I ended up selling them, I think for 800, I think. And then I had the Travis Scott Air Force Ones. I wore them once and then sold those for like 500. And I wish I would have just kept them because they're kind of just like low key, like a cool sneaker, and you can change the Nike logos on them. And then I had the Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows, the first 1 lows that dropped, the black and brown ones. And I
wait, what?
Yeah, but I got them in a 14, bro, because they didn't come out in my size. So I got them in a 14 and I was going to keep them and I couldn't squeeze. So I sold them literally like a couple of days after I got them for like 600, 650, and now they're worth like over $1,000. So I was like, I wish I would have held on to them maybe, but I was like, I can't fit them. Like I wanted to wear them, but I couldn't fit them. I couldn't squeeze. So I had to get rid of them.
For me,
I love those. I love those lows.
The Travis Scott low. I don't know. Like I listen to I don't know if you guys listen to like the Complex Sneakers podcast or anything like that. Cobb, I think you said you have, but they were like talking they don't like the all black, the Phantom Travis Scott one lows that came out. I thought those were kind of fire for real, like especially for Cobb. Cobb's like an all black sneaker guy a lot
I
of the
just
time.
like black and white sneakers and gray
Right,
sneakers really more than
right.
anything right now.
But for me, man, literally the two most like sought after sneakers that I've ever gotten were both in Cobb size. The off-white, the 10, I got those. I skipped class, obviously, which like wasn't that
That's a
surprising
classic
for me.
back in the
Yeah,
day. You move for
at
sure.
that point that wasn't surprising for me. I skipped class even if I had nothing else going on. But I skipped
That's
class
on
and
brand.
all day. I entered a 13 and a 15 for every single shoe that came out. The only one I hit was Cobb's in the 15. True brotherly love. I sold them to him for retail.
I gave you $50 extra. I do remember
50
that.
extra. Sorry.
I think they were 150 retail. I sent you 200 because I was like, I'll pay you 50 for your time, my boy. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's a good man right there. That's a good man.
Yeah, it is. And then the other ones, I got him the Kobe 5, the Chaos, the like purple and green ones.
Just at the time, they were sought after. Obviously, like those Kobe's were selling out, but at the time they weren't like they are now because Kobe passed away. Like those were the last ones that released while he was alive, I believe.
Yep.
So
they were
and then you wear those in game, right, Caleb?
Yeah, I wore them last year a bunch. I kind of beat them up a little bit, honestly, but I was like, I'm not gonna sell them. Like, I'm gonna just keep them probably forever. Like,
I literally like, I'm pretty sure I got those for you, and I was like, bro, you have to play in these. Like, I literally got these for you to play in. It's like it's a gift. Like, don't pay me for them, but you have to play in them. You were like,
you gave them to me for my birthday, I think.
Yeah, and so those, and then technically like another low key, like exclusive sneaker that I have, and it's kind of beat now because I wear them in the winter here a lot, and obviously the winter here is shitty, but it's because their camo is I got a pair of the Dornbecker Air Max 270s, and those are like, if nobody knows what the Dornbecker releases are,
I do.
So every time once a year they do, like, it's usually like 5 or 6 sneakers, and the Children's Hospital and Portland area has kids design sneakers. So this one was a camo Air Max 270 back in the Air Max 270 days when those were popping.
All the rage for a while.
Right. So I got that pair, and it's actually like, I was looking at it the other day, and obviously mine are beat and I would never sell them at this point, but if you had a DS pair on StockX, they're like a check. I want to say they were like 700 or 800 when I looked at them last time. So right now, man, I'm just trying to, I want a pair. I have my eyes on a pair. The off-white Jordan 5s, not the black ones, which everyone loves. I like the sale ones a little better, to be honest. So I think those might be my next pickup. I've been big into Virgil. Obviously, Melissa will tell you that when I get interested in something, I like dive all the way in, like do a bunch of research on it, like want to know everything about it. And Virgil's been like probably in the last 6-7 months, like to the point where a couple of my tattoos I'm getting, I want to incorporate like the quotes in some way, his style, because it's just so fire to me. And one of his quotes is like, hang on, let me pull it up because I have it in my thing, and I think it's a way that like kind of you have talked about looking at sneakers as well. And it says, sneakers aren't just utilitarian, they're borderline art objects. And like that's the biggest thing, is between us and like our parents' point of view, is like, for us, sneakers are like a piece of art you put on your feet. Like, you don't have to have them in your house, you can wear them around and like be excited about it. And I think that's part of why you're like, I want to wear them, because like, I don't know, you want people to see it, you want to share it with people. And the biggest thing isn't necessarily like getting complimented on your sneakers, it's like someone asking about it and you get to share something you love with them. For me, like I love that part of it.
And I've always said, like, even before I was into sneakers like we are now, like, you can tell the most about a person from just like, if you were going to look at one thing that they're wearing, their shoes will tell you the most about them. Agreed. Regardless of what they look like. If they're beaten up, like, they might have gone through some stuff. If they're like, Dornbecker Jordan 4s, that they are a sneakerhead. Like, you can tell a lot. You can't tell that from clothes necessarily, but shoes, like, they tell such a story. That's what it is. You're telling a story with what you're putting on your feet. And I love that about it. It's like, it's the easiest way, I think, with like clothes or accessories to kind of express yourself. So
absolutely.
I
agree. Let's go. I don't want to take too much of your time. You obviously have 2 kids.
Hey, they're out.
So,
They're with grandma and grandpa right now.
oh,
So
I was
got
gonna
some
ask
time?
one more question on the sneakers. Like, what's one pair that you guys don't have right now that you're like, man, I'd really like to own that pair either soon or one day at least?
Is it no money, or is it something that's a realistic pickup at some point?
Either way, you could say something that's realistic and something that's like, okay, a grail, but I'll probably never get. I
Okay.
mean, it's up to you.
You got it in your mind?
Me?
Either one of you. One of you
I
go
You
do.
go
first.
ahead first. You look like you're pretty eager to share.
No,
So.
I want Nick to go first because I got
I
to
do.
think a minute.
So this kind of goes back to the 10 and Virgil that we've been talking about. There is a pair of shoes that I never got. I tried to get multiple times, even for like resale. I've tried and it's just never quite worked out. I want the off-white, the original off-white Air Max 90s sometime in my
So
life.
fire.
To
So
rock,
fire.
to rock. Like I'll
So
wear those
fire.
forever. I want those.
So
And
fire.
I don't think they'd be too unrealistic. I think I'd have to save up for a little bit, but
Yeah, they're like in the 1200 range, right? I
yeah,
think?
yeah, we could do that. We could do
absolutely. Absolutely. Those are an unbelievable sneaker. Great in the summer and the winter. Like for
that.
me,
Exactly.
you can't really wear like obviously the most famous Virgil sneaker is the Chicago Jordan 1. It's unbelievably expensive, unbelievably beautiful. Like, but my thing with like one highs is you can't wear them all the time. Like you have to wear pants with them. Shorts,
Yeah, yeah.
like
I've
so
seen people wear shorts, but it's not going to be me.
it's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. I think Cobb can do it because he's got super long legs. Like Cobb used to wear all his high tops with shorts, but he's got long legs and he's a hooper, so like it looks different. I feel like.
I feel like Lanen is a high top
Yeah.
with shorts guy too, and it'd be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, lanky dudes.
It's lengthy guys.
Yeah, right. Cobb, you got yours in mind?
I think right now the ones that I think I like the most are probably like the Jackie Dunks that released last year, and then also the Jackie Robinson Griffies, the high top all black Griffies with the 42 on the side. I think I
don't
just
know if
started
I've seen
liking.
that.
They're Griffey Maxes all black with a 42 instead of a 24 on them.
Yeah.
They're like super simple, but like I mean, I don't know if we talked about it, but like I changed my number to number 42, partially in like, in honor of Jackie Robinson and just like something that, I loved growing up as a kid, to watch all the players in the MLB on Jackie Robinson Day come out in the number 42. And like, as a kid with baseball being kind of my first love, it was like, I wanted to change my number, last season. So I changed it to 42 and have been rocking it ever since. So I think that's probably part of the reason why I want those. I just think they're dope. And I think like the low top dunk, you can rock in the summer, but like the high top black, like that's like a winter shoe, 100%. You can rock that with joggers, like, whatever. So those are the
And
two.
they'd probably look
two right
okay
now.
getting a little bit beat too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think they could really get dirty. I mean, they all leather really, like
right.
all
You can
black.
clean them pretty easy.
Clean them up.
For me, I want to say it's got to be a Virgil shoe, obviously. I really like. So let's go unrealistic first. The most like sought after one, and I'm not usually like a black sneaker guy, but the Museum of Modern Art Air Force One from Virgil. It's like all black with the silver Nike swoosh. Crazy. When they first came out, the two that I wanted the most, I wanted the Air Max. Like those are insane to me still. The like tan version, insane with the orange swoosh. You remember those? They came out later.
Yes, yeah.
Those ones are so crazy.
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
I love those too.
Those are crazy.
I've tried to get those multiple times.
And then the other one that like now I would still want, but like not the same as I did when they first came out, is when the 10 first dropped, dude. The Vapor Maxes to me were like insane.
Yeah.
Tough.
No,
the
I love
Vapor
it.
the Vapor Maxes were insane. I think on a like more realistic note, a couple that I've gotten into, obviously the 5s that I talked about, they're sitting at like 500-ish right now for a 13, so it's fairly realistic to get. But then like a super low key one that I've liked for a few years is the Rockefeller Records Air Force One. They're like $300. It's literally an all white Air Force One with the Rockefeller Records logo on the heel.
Yeah.
And with like literally since 6th grade, Jay-Z's been my favorite artist. So like that would be the one for me.
Yeah, and those you can't go wrong with those. They're so clean. They go with everything. They're so
Exactly.
versatile. That's what I love about like if you can get a shoe with a little bit of hype and like a little nicer design, if it can be like kind of a white or like a cream, like low top sneaker, like that's my go-to. Like because you can just wear it with everything anytime.
Yeah,
Another one that
100%.
I have another one that I've kind of thought about that's I think it had a little bit of time where it was kind of a little hype, but I think people have probably forgotten about it a little bit. One that I just wanted to mention that I've had my eye on for probably 5 years now. They came out with the Jordan 3, and it was the free throw line.
Yeah,
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
on the bottom. Yeah, the line on the bottom.
I want those so bad now. Like I've wanted them for a long time, but I think the price is pretty reasonable, and they kind of match like the style of shoes I've been wearing recently. So
Right.
I want to get a pair of those. I love like the translucent bottom with like the
With the line on it.
the red stripe. Yeah, those were
Fire.
super cool. Super cool.
You said we was gonna go into like some
Childhood stuff.
childhood stuff or whatever. So
All right, cool.
if you've got something in mind, you can go ahead.
I mean, the biggest thing is like remembrance for me is obviously we grew up together. You're one of my best friends to this day. Obviously I don't get to see you as much being in a different state here, but we met I think in 5th grade, probably maybe even a little earlier, playing against each other, Boys and Girls Club, but started hanging out together early on, and then middle school, finally went to school together, and then up through high school kind of got our gang of friends that we still hang out with, talk to this day. So any memories for you that stand out that you want to kind of talk about that are fun, or anything that pops up?
We have so many, dude. Like I think I remember, I think I met you. I mean, obviously I knew who you were in like youth baseball because like you were the GOAT of Boys and Girls Club
He was him.
baseball. He was
Hey,
him.
me and Nick were the 2 best baseball players of our age in the town, easily.
I can't speak for myself. I know that you were number one. So I can say that with confidence. It was like I'll never forget. This is a funny memory that we've talked about 100 times, but maybe people who are listening like have never heard this. And I don't know, should I mention like other names outside of us?
Yeah, I think I know what story you're telling, and yeah, you should probably.
Okay.
It's your friend, so
Okay, so this was probably 4th grade. Maybe no, because when did we start playing select, Caleb? When was Eagles? Like end of 4th grade season?
10U, so I don't know how old you are.
So so maybe this was 3rd grade. Okay, we'll say 3rd grade. All right, it was kid pitch. I know that. So we were playing a Boys and Girls Club game. I was on the athletics and Caleb was on the stars.
Yep.
And we were probably like 2 of the best teams. Like, I mean, you guys were always the best, but so we're playing, the field doesn't exist anymore, but it was the one that was kind of at the corner of the Arboretum and like that side street that like, it's the closest one to Parkside Elementary.
yep.
And the outfield is like facing the boys club, facing the park, like the third baseline is down the Arboretum, basically.
Yes.
So we were there and it was kid pitch. Cameron Jung was pitching on my team.
Yo.
Caleb hit a baseball so damn far. I swear to God, it landed in the Bethalto Park. It went over the street. It was the farthest baseball I had ever seen hit in my life. And I think everyone was just in awe. Like you just turn around like instantly, like, yeah, that's gone. Like this kid, Caleb might have even pimped it. I can't remember that, but dude, that was an absolute monster shot. I know you remember that. I know everyone that.
My dad talks about that sometimes. I remember him always saying he hit it over the street. And that was the only field at the Boys and Girls Club that had a fence also.
Yeah, it was a bomb.
It
really was.
But there wasn't a fence yet, Cobb. They added
there wasn't
later. Yeah. So it was our first year kid pitch. And I remember Mike Kirby was your coach. Like what a legend, Mike Kirby.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. And so I remember the part that my dad always like loves to tell is the umpire was like ground rule double.
Yeah.
And Mike Kirby, who was the other team's coach, goes, that ain't no ground rule double, hit it over the road.
Yeah. No, and I'm pretty sure, like, memory's a little fuzzy because I was only like, what, 8 or 9?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it didn't bounce to the park. I'm pretty sure it landed in the park.
Yeah, I used to
Like,
I don't know what
it
happened to
went
me.
over that
Obviously,
steep.
like people caught up and stuff, but when I was younger, I do believe that I was the truth. Like I
You
also
were.
had a confidence level that I don't have now. Like I don't like I lost once I got older. Like
Yeah.
when I was 8 to like 11, 12 years old, like if you would have asked me, I'd have been like, yeah, I'm top 2 and I'm not 2. Like I would have told everybody that I was the
Yeah,
best player in the entire area. And I
for
don't
sure.
know what my dad, I think, hey, let's call dad out. He always was like, be humble, don't be so cocky. And you know what? I think I needed that shit to me a little bit. Once I lost it, I don't think I was the same.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of kind of like swagger and like attitude you kind of need to be successful. Honestly, you do. You kind of because you gotta be your own biggest fan in a way.
Yeah.
Right. I agree. I think okay, we're gonna go real quick off topic. Have you guys all seen the video of the like third grade basketball team or whatever it is that's just talking crazy shit to everybody?
Yeah.
No,
It's
I
been going
haven't.
okay.
I
So
don't
it's
think so.
these like young kids and they're like talking wet, bro. Like hitting
Like, he's too
threes.
little. They got this big man. He's always like, he's
No
too
way.
little, baby.
Yeah,
Like putting his arm down and
they have
stuff.
like a kid. They have a kid who's a big, but he's like nice. You can tell he's nice for his age because he's hitting
And
threes
he's
and
like
shit
built
too.
like, if you remember like me as a kid, like he looks like
Yeah,
kind of like that
he's
size, like
thick
kind of like
body.
thick body, like
Yeah.
taller than everybody.
But he's like he's scoring on kids and being like too little and like rocking the baby and there's been a lot of backlash for these kids, right? Mostly for these kids' parents, and I'm not specifically sure how I feel about it. Cause like I think it's a bit excessive, but I want my kid to have some shit to him. Like I
Yeah.
want him to.
Yeah, it's tough. There's a fine line.
Agree.
Because really, like, the good thing about sports is it's kind of supposed to teach you life lessons, like how to conduct yourself in like a group environment. So like that's one side of it. You got to be like, you got to have some respect for the other people around you.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, like, also you're in third grade and it's for fun. Like, you got to get kids excited about playing sports. And if like it makes it more fun for you to be like, right in someone's face, like do it. I don't know. It's
Right.
There's a fine line. Like you have that. You got to get hyped if you do something good, or you're just gonna get bored, especially for kids.
I want to say it was KD. I saw a tweet about it. And like a lot of the other pro athletes that I saw were like, this, we can't be having this or whatever. And I want to say it was KD. It may have been somebody else, but somebody quote tweeted it and said, like, I remember when I was a kid, all we did was reenact stuff we saw the pros do, like good shit, little dudes, or something like that. And I'm like, that is true, bro. Like, if you don't want kids to act like that, like the people that are gonna try and act like are the professional athletes. Like we did the same thing.
Right.
Like we would have pinned home runs way worse when we were kids if we would have lived in today's culture where that's what things happen. Like we grew up in a culture where if you pimped a home run, you got hit with the baseball. So we didn't want to get hit with the baseball.
It's so bizarre too. And like, I think it's weird that like parents like will take personal offense to stuff too. Like if I'm a parent, let's say Bennett's, 12 years old and he's playing, I don't know, travel baseball or something like that. If he hits a home run over the fence and he pimps it, like as another, even if it was a kid on the other team, like I'm hyped for that kid. Like there's no part of my being that would be like, show some damn respect for the game. What's that bullshit? Like, no, that's awesome. That kid just hit a bomb. Like he should be able to do a cartwheel around the bases if he wants to.
Exactly.
Like that's awesome. What is this all for? It's all for fun.
For
and to get kids excited about the game. So I'm all for it. But if it gets like too vulgar or just too like blatantly disrespectful, it's almost like a, like let's dial it back a little bit so that we can, you got to have respect for other people. That's the tough part.
Right.
I think the tough thing about me with it is like, if my kid were playing basketball, like he calls somebody too little, or calls him a baby, tells him he can't guard him or something, it's like, what am I supposed to say? At that point, it's just the pot calling the kettle black if I tell him it's wrong. Like,
right.
Bro, because I don't know, like last 2 games I played over here, I've had someone wanting to fight me at the end of the game. So I mean, I can't really speak on it too much.
Yeah,
like
no.
It's for sure ingrained in my DNA. Definitely. I don't know.
I was literally talking to Melissa the other day and I was like, I was like, Carson's gonna have an attitude here soon. I was like, something happened, and I was like, we need Cobb back in the States to put him in his place. Cobb will talk shit to him real quick.
No, but the funny thing is I think Caleb remembers though, going on this, like where you said you needed that swagger. If you remember, like someone was mad at me for talking crap, or dad, or I don't know, something happened. Do you remember this in college? And I didn't say a word to anybody. Like I didn't talk any crap. And I played like 3 games like that. I didn't say a word to anybody. I had like a horrible 3-game stretch. I just called Caleb and I was like, bro, I think I just need to start talking shit again or something. Like
Literally,
I need to do something.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to do something. Get myself. I don't feel like myself. But then like the next game, I think I had like 20 something and 10 or like something crazy. And I was just like talking the whole game. And I was just like, man, I just don't think I can be just someone that just goes out like Kawhi, just stoic, doesn't say anything the whole game. Like it just like I'll have no energy that way, honestly.
Do you remember when me and got into it at halftime once at Mo West? Because of you, bro. It was because of you.
I do. Because I was going a little crazy, but that was but that was like a personal game for me because they had a guy on the other team who had all my personal best against Mo West, by the way. But it was a little personal because he was really trying to hit some things, like some personal things on me and stuff, and I was always locking him up. But we won't go too far into that.
But it was like Coach Johnson was, we need to get Cobb calmed down. He's being ridiculous. I was like, nope.
Let him
go. He was like, I was like, you gotta let him go. I was like, unless he gets a tech, you gotta let him go. And he's like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, bro, he won't play well. Like if we don't let him, he won't play well. Cause like, hey, I think the Mo West people all like you. For some reason, the coaches that you talk the most shit to all like you, but they always did like this thing in all their pictures and stuff. There's literally a video of Cobb hitting a 3, bro, in front of their bench and going.
My God.
So
it all started, bro. I think it all started honestly like playing like AAU basketball and just feeling like I always had to prove myself like in these travel ball, especially because I was like super unathletic. Like a lot of times, you might be one of the few like white kids on the court, honestly, too. So
what
like
in the caucasity was happening?
You already feel like you have to like prove yourself a little bit when you step into those environments. And it's like people would talk crazy. And like I just remember like one of the first times I ever did anything like that, like hitting a 3. I hit a 3 in the corner or something in like 8th grade or maybe freshman year. And I just remember hitting a 3, turning around, looking at the bench and giving them the 3 all the way down the bench because they was talking crazy. And I was just like, after that, I was geeked up and I was a little caught up in it after that. So, but I think going back to just like our childhood and our relationship, I think I was never like super close with Nick, like more so he was your friend. I think I got closer with him and all your other friends also once we got into high school. We were like around like, the same, like in the same school and stuff and everything. And like I remember like sometimes our friend groups are hanging together like now too, whenever everybody's home or something, like at the Hensons, because like Dan and Chris. So like, we've all gotten closer. But I think the first time I got close to Nick was when he was the QB for CM High. And I was a sophomore on the football team. Never actually got the opportunity to block for him, sadly. What was that? What was that?
None of the other linemen did either. So.
Throw your boy Lively under the bus, man.
No. No.
Jake was locked in. Jake was locked in.
Yeah,
no, I did end up winning the starting job, but that was after Nick's knee got
They're like, oh
up.
shit, we better get somebody in there.
Yeah, but what was that feeling like to run out on a Friday night? Because as a lineman, like it was cool, but like how many games did you actually get to start at QB? How many games were you the starter?
So we had Newton, we had Centralia, and we had Mater Dei. So 3.
What was that feeling like though? Running out there on a Friday night, like QB of the team. Like I remember like the Friday nights used to have me so hyped, but like I hated practice. Like I couldn't play football at the next level. Practice was miserable.
Yeah, same here. I mean, like high school football was almost like my biggest dream as a kid. Like those were like my heroes. Like I remember watching Stephen Jones play and like how cool that season was nice. Where they like went back to the playoffs. I think it was like 05 or something, maybe 04. Like Stephen Jones, Josh Morrison, like all however many 25 Goveros that played. Like I just remember like your dad or Gary Bruning like calling those games and just like that's such a core childhood memory for me that like it just became like really all I wanted. Like I never saw myself playing football at the next level or anything. So when I finally got to that point, like, dude, I enjoyed every moment of that. I only got to play, one varsity game like as starter at home, but it was cool, and it was, it was amazing. I mean, like I said, you grow up like watching these guys, and it's like they seem so like untouchable to you. Like they seem so much older and like so much bigger, and then you like grow up and you play and you're like, no, these guys are like, we can take these guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's completely different once you get there, and I'm sure that's like that for all sports. But yeah, seeing football was probably my favorite thing to do as a kid. When we were still allowed to play out on the track.
That was the best.
I love doing that too, but like I was also the kid that would like sit up in the stands and actually watch the game with my dad. Like, a lot of kids probably didn't care as much, and you guys understand that too. You guys are probably the type that like actually want to watch the basketball game, actually want to watch the baseball game. Like I know like me and Caleb kind of are like that in the same way. So, but yeah, it was great. It just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Obviously, I still believe in my heart we probably would have went to the playoffs that year. I think we would have squeaked out 5 wins. But
for sure, we could have. I think we had a good squad.
I really, it's not even. I'm not even really saying it's because it was Kyle and not me, because I think Kyle did a great job. I think it's just, I think the morale of everybody else maybe dropped a little bit when it was kind of like known that I wasn't going to be back, unfortunately. So I know for my close friends that probably happened, like Wyatt and Jake and Chris. Like, I don't know. I think it just kind of was a mental thing too, which sucked. You go through something like that, you almost like, there were moments I felt like guilty. Like I almost didn't even want to come to practice because I'm like, I can't stand that I'm not out there. Like it drives you nuts. So if people out there listening have never went through an injury like that, it's brutal, and I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. I never want to see anyone get injured because I know it's tough. It's really tough.
It does. Other memory, like we'll move to a little bit older. We'll not give an exact age here since it may indict us a bit. But
Okay.
I want to talk about some hanging out in a certain one of our friends' basement, and Hulk Hogan coming down to talk to us, just to not indict any parents.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of those memories. Like this is what did he say? This ain't no damn
frat house.
This ain't no damn frat house. Go to bed.
I put the fucking clock on the wall for a reason. The best quote ever. What do you say? I gave you the 1 o'clock. Because like this is the thing with Hulk Hogan. He was upstairs stewing for hours because he probably wasn't the heaviest sleeper in the world. And we were probably pretty loud and pretty stupid. So I gave you the 1 o'clock. I gave you the 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock? Fuck no. Fuck that. Like I've seen him come down multiple times in his underwear, just his underwear. And like we do the thing where, we all like lay down and close our eyes.
Act like we're sleeping with the lights on.
He knows damn well we weren't sleeping. Like
there's still drinks out poured on the table.
Oh yeah. Bottles of orange drink and Malibu everywhere.
Orange drink and Malibu, and then Miller High Lifes, bro.
Jack in the Box taco wrappers everywhere. Taco Bell. Like, dude, those were some of the best nights of my life, honestly. That was like the most fun, like late high school, early college, down in their basement. Like we spent a lot of time there. I feel like in the summer I was there every day. And like
so much fun.
Mostly spent the night every night. I probably spent more time there in the summers, like junior and senior year, than I did at my house. Like I remember I was working too. Like, dude, no joke. We would be up till 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd have to get up to go to work at like 6:30.
And we could just do it, bro. It's so weird.
It's bizarre. I think back, like, dude, if I stay up till midnight, I'm feeling kind of rough the next day now.
Right.
Like,
we stayed up till 11 last night, and I was hurting, bro.
Yeah, it's wild, but yeah, those are. I love all those memories. We had some fun.
Yeah, for sure. There was, there's just so many to point out, like the can't get the bottle cap out of your hand, throwing up in a bucket,
Those were we
that's the
won't
same
talk.
night.
We won't talk about those as much as some of the other fun ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Those are
Obviously,
unique experiences. Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
don't need to talk about at all. But yeah, I mean, one of our friends' parents' basement's house.
Anyway,
And then we just move it along. Great
Oh,
times.
we'll bleep that out.
Yeah,
great times.
great
Yeah,
times.
and they're just the best people in the world too.
They really are. They really are. I guess unless we have any more stories that you boys want to get into, we can dive right into a draft here if we're ready.
I wanted to mention one more thing.
Yes.
Kind of about youth baseball. We were talking about that. And you were talking about how, you kind of like lost your confidence and all that stuff, like whatever, just that whole baseball conversation. In my eyes, and even like to this day, if I ever have the conversation with somebody, I still think that you, Caleb, are the best baseball player that I've ever seen, like I've ever been around. I always like when we were little, like obviously you were him, and like I looked up to you. I just like, and me and my dad like always appreciated just like how you did everything the right way. It was like you seemed so comfortable even as like a young guy. Like if a ground ball was hit to you, like I know that thing is not going through Caleb's legs. Like I know he's catching a pop fly. I know he's not going to strike out. I know like he can play catcher. He can pitch for us if we need him to. He's going to play every position. Maybe not outfield, but pretty much
not enough balls in the outfield.
Anything from the dirt in, like I know you would be there. And like I still think like you had, in high school and stuff, I think you just had some like injuries and like some timing thing that kind of just maybe knocked you off your groove a little bit. And like maybe it didn't pan out the way that I thought it would for you. I don't know what you expected for yourself, but I think once you finally got healthy, like you kind of just like proved again that you were still a great baseball player. And I don't know. I think you always did things the right way. Like Caleb is the type of guy that, he might have been the slowest guy on the team, but he might have been like third on the team in stolen bases because he's just smarter than you. And like, I cannot stress that enough, like how much me and my dad talked about that all the time. Like, I loved playing with you. I loved playing against you when we did. Like, I just always respected your game. You're just a smart player who always did things the right way. And I felt like that even in basketball too. Like, I didn't play basketball as much as you guys, but like, I knew that, you guys were both great, honestly. And when I did play with you, it was just, I felt the same way. You always just were a step ahead of everyone else, like on the IQ side. And I don't know if that's because you guys just had such a sports oriented family. Your dad was deeply involved with you guys and probably talked to you guys a lot about, what you did in the games and stuff. And we did that a little bit at my house, but I know it just wasn't the same. And even when we played football together, Caleb, like I loved when you were my center. Like those are great memories too.
1 year,
He
baby.
played. I forgot
One
he even
one
played.
year, baby. 7th grade.
No, you were great at that too. So I just wanted to mention that, like, for people who don't know and never got to see, like Caleb really was a great baseball player and like really was him when we were kids. So I really wanted to stress that and
I appreciate that.
I enjoyed watching you play and playing with you. So.
I appreciate that. You were obviously one of my best friends, but one of my favorite teammates as well. Especially those like last couple of years, senior year, especially when we were not good at all, but we somehow figured out a way to have fun.
Got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
Throw 10 high ones and get out of there.
I was just trying to make people enjoy their time, honestly. Like, you guys know me. I've never been like super serious about that like type of stuff. Like, especially, I just never took it too serious. Like sports in general, high school.
Much needed.
And like, sometimes I would cringe when guys like took it a little too serious. And I just always wanted to lighten the mood and like make sure people were having fun. Because you can sense, like, especially senior year, like, we're kind of like the leaders of the team at that point. You can kind of sense like the energy and the vibe of the whole team. And that's kind of one of your duties, is to like make sure that everyone is like in a good headspace. And that's always what I tried to do. And I think, it was a miserable season, like, box score wise and like schedule wise, but I think we had a fun time given the circumstances. So
100%, 100%, bro. I appreciate that. Obviously, you kind of turned it down a little bit as well, but we were top 2 for sure at that age. There's a picture of, I don't even know if it's floating around anymore, but me and you with my dad at our All-Star game the first the first year of select ball. We were the 2 to go to All-Star game. Another year where we were just absolutely dog water. We were terrible, but you and I were out there grinding. So hey, I appreciate the shine a little bit. Cobb gets it a lot. So it's nice to get a bit of it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help.
Awesome. We'll dive into a draft here. I hope everyone's staying on with us. This has been a bit of a longer one, but when Nick's on, like, we could probably have gone for like 3 straight hours just BSing the whole time. So
absolutely.
We'll dive into the draft. Cobb, it's your idea, so I'll let you take the lead on kind of what we're drafting, and then we'll go from there.
So we're drafting musical artists, but the way that we're drafting it is kind of, if you were to go to a festival, what would be the lineup that you would want to see in concert? Like, what are the people that you're going to a concert? Like, I would want to see this person live, and the draft is dead or alive. So you can pick anybody, it doesn't have to be a realistic thing that could happen. You can have artists from all different time periods and stuff. So just kind of essentially our favorite musical artists dead or alive.
Can I add one thing to it?
What's up?
At the end, after we draft our 5, because obviously you may need to like grab someone at an early round. Once we draft our 5, I would like for us to put them in the order, like the performance order.
Yep.
Okay.
So like, who's your opener? Who's gonna close? I want that to happen as well.
All right, 1 second. Let me flip my page here. Get it right.
Nick, just so you know, as the guest, you go first always. Cobb, you want second or third?
I went third last time, right?
Yeah, you
so
did.
I'll go second this time then.
Okay, so Cobb will go second. I'll go third. We snake it. So Nick, you'll get 1 to start, and then when we come back around to you, you'll get 2. You'll get your second and third round pick right then.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Cobb, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Nick's
all right, let's pop it off. Nick, first round, number 1. Who you got?
So I have 2 that are kind of like tied for number 1 for me. I'm gonna pick one of them because I'm scared I won't get him if it has to go through you guys twice. So my number 1 for my festival, give me the king of pop, Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Dang, that's a great one.
I can honestly tell you, I would not have picked him. So you could have kept him.
I mean, all timer. How many hits, man?
It's true. I'm fully prepared to say
the videos of the crowds and stuff at his concerts are crazy.
I'm fully prepared to say that I'm gonna lose this draft, but if I'm the only person at my festival, I will be losing my mind at mine. Just so everyone's aware.
All right, my first overall pick, possibly controversial, but probably my favorite artist ever. Has absolutely carried my generation. I think I had to go with Drake.
I don't think that's controversial at all.
I
don't think that's even remotely controversial. All right. Number 1 for me, have to do it. I know none of you will pick him, so I could have waited till 5 to get it, but we're going Jay with number 1. Jay-Z, it wouldn't be right to not put him at 1. Top 2, not 2, in case you were wondering, in hip hop world. Don't come at me with anything else, because God did.
God came at you with something?
No, God did. He picked Jay, number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, we're gonna keep it in the family. We're actually gonna go Beyonce. Number 2, second round pick.
Wow,
some bangers.
Yeah.
Yep, I like that.
My second round pick, probably my favorite singer of all time. I got to go with Adele.
Ooh,
very nice.
That's gonna be some nice vocals.
Absolutely. So I get 2 picks back to back.
2 picks.
Yep.
Okay. So I want to give you guys a little kind of like peek into like where my headspace was when I'm kind of making my list in my big board. If I'm going to go 5, like all time, and this is kind of like my last concert, my last festival ever, I want a good variety of different types of artists. So I'm going to try to kind of pick someone from different genres that kind of represent, that genre a little bit for me. So for my number 2 pick, give me Queen, led by Freddie Mercury.
Okay. I do have a question. Did your 1A, 1B, did the other one get picked yet?
Yeah, it was Michael Jackson and Queen. I just think that they're like,
okay.
Not only the music carries alone, but when I'm thinking about a festival, like I want a good performance. Like, dude, Freddie Mercury is probably the best performer live ever. And Michael Jackson, like the epitome of an entertainer. So like, that's kind of where my head was on those. I didn't know like what you guys are going to be thinking. I didn't know how like modern or what you're going to go, but now we'll go into kind of a modern pick for me. So I want to make a clear distinction that
I know who you're picking.
I know who you're picking. I know who you're picking already. I'm writing. I already wrote it down on my notebook. Go ahead.
Not Ye, but give me Kanye West in my 3.
Okay.
Because for me, and I can't stress this enough, Kanye West is my favorite artist of all time. Ye is a different person, but Kanye West, I gotta have him at my festival.
Oh, that's so good. As soon as I knew that's,
yeah.
Can we talk about, I think you put it on TikTok, the video where you're like, I don't even think I can post my Spotify Wrapped or whatever.
Yeah. I said, I don't think I'm legally allowed to share this with you guys. And everyone's like, yep, we know who it is. Like, gosh dang it. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about that. It's for someone who's a really, really big fan, it's kind of heartbreaking. So
for my 3rd pick, give me Sir Elton John.
I was actually gonna take him. Now I'm a little thrown off now. Hang on a second. I did not think there was a chance you were taking him. So now
I took him just because like I like a lot of his songs, obviously, and then also just like his performances back in the day were absolutely electrifying. I would want him prime though, like prime Elton John. Like it's not like I was watching the other day on Disney Plus. They have his last live performance in LA or whatever. And like obviously he's still iconic, still good, but like I want prime though, like I don't want now. I want the prime Elton.
Yep.
So a little quick Elton John story. He came to Fargo. He was at the Dome, and Melissa and I were like fully prepared. We were gonna go to see Elton John. Like obviously he's not gonna perform any longer. Karsten was born like a week before the concert, so we didn't end up going, but we were all set to go see Elton John, dude. That would have been obviously old and not the same, but electric.
Still all time.
Electric.
Yep.
I got 2, and I want to reiterate, I'm gonna lose the draft, but I will love every single second of my experience here. 3rd overall, maybe my favorite non-rapper musical artist today. Not even maybe, I would say probably is. It's LMA. Give me LMA. She's coming to Minneapolis. I'm gonna go. I gotta try and figure it out because it's like right before we leave for Europe. So I don't think my boss is gonna let me take a couple extra days off work. So I gotta figure that out. But LMA, if you don't know, check her out. She's the truth. She was I want to say she was like number 3 on my Spotify Wrapped, and like I don't think many people have her on there. So let me throw her on, and then the next one I'm taking is James Taylor.
You dog.
Absolute truth. If you think you don't know James Taylor songs, you do. Like, he is the truth. I remember so many times Nick and I driving around listening to James Taylor, hanging out in somebody's basement listening to James Taylor. It's an absolute relaxing, beautiful environment to be in.
Yep, he was on my list, Caleb. You stole him from me.
So here's where my head's going right now with my last 2 picks. I've obviously got one, and then we're gonna go to Nick, have his last 2, and come back. My first three, I picked obviously artists that I really like, but also artists that I was like, they might pick if I don't take them. But my last two, these are just some of my favorites. So I think one of my favorite artists of all time has got to go with her. I got to go with SZA right here in the 4 slot because
from St. Louis too, correct?
Yeah, from the Lou. She that Control album carried me in college.
Hey, I can't lie to you. I know people love her new album more, but like Control is better. Control is the truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a same situation as like a J. Cole whenever he dropped like the 2014 Forest Hills Drive or like Bryson Tiller Trap Soul. Like, I just don't know it. Like, she's going to keep dropping good stuff, but it's just like you go back to that one where it's like, I don't know how she'll ever top that.
Exactly, bro. I feel the same about like LMA. Her EP is like my favorite songs that she has, and it's not even technically an album. Nick, you got 2 of them. Finish us off. What do you got?
It's tough. There are a couple different ways I could go with this. Okay, for my next pick, give me Jimi Hendrix.
Ooh.
I know you guys aren't going to pick him, but
no,
he's just somebody that, I mean, he's going to put the crowd like in awe. He's going to be a great, like I said, I keep going back to like performers, you know, like who are going to draw a crowd and like be engaging. And like, I don't want to look away. Jimi Hendrix. I mean, you saw what he did at Woodstock. Like, Jimi Hendrix is probably the best guitarist ever and just like a legend. And he could sing too. So I'll take Jimi Hendrix there. Then my last pick. This is tough. I think I'm going to take Fleetwood Mac with my 5th pick.
Okay. I had a feeling we would have some differences. You grew up much more of like a rock inspired guy, I feel like. Whereas Cobb and I were never in that realm very much.
Yeah.
Country is all we listened to growing up.
Yeah. My parents listened to a lot of that stuff. Like we kind of share that taste. And I just feel like, you know, more of the modern people, like, I guess they don't seem as like untouchable to me to where like, you know, there are people I've dreamed about seeing in concert that you just wouldn't be able to. So,
right.
So for my last pick to round out the draft, I'm gonna go with Juice WRLD. He's my final pick. Honestly, the craziest thing about me picking him in this now is that he's one of my favorite artists ever now. But I didn't even listen to him until after he passed away. And the only reason I listened to him was because Dan Lytle and Marcus Ingram, we'd be like playing video games and they'd be like, Dan would be like, that new juice drop, whatever. And then he passed away and I was like, they kept talking about him, you know, like they were sad that he passed away and stuff. And they're like, oh, you got to listen to this album. You got to listen to this song. And I was like, okay, I'll listen to him. You know, I'd never listened to him. And then I just like got hooked so bad that I just wanted to listen to all his music and stuff. And I think the last 2 years, he's been like my number 1 artist on Spotify, I think, actually.
Dang.
So
I love Juice WRLD.
So had to put him in there at the 5 slot.
All right.
Good pick.
5th round for me. I knew none of you guys. I knew you guys wouldn't take him. But I think you both know my affection for him. One of my favorite artists of all time. Jim Croce, that old folk style, unbelievable voice. Love his music. It was an easy choice for me, but I knew I could sneak him all the way down to 5 and have no worries about it. So
you're lucky, Caleb, because it was between Fleetwood Mac or Jim Croce for me.
So wow, I almost lost him.
I'm glad you got your guy. I was gonna take Jim Croce, but I was like, I thought you might be thinking about it. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm glad you got your guy. Dude, that James Taylor, Jim Croce, imagine like some duets.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. All right. Do you guys have your lineup? Because I actually got everybody I planned on picking outside of Elton John. So I can go first if you guys want.
Go first. I'm looking at mine right now. I'm trying to decide how I want to put them out there.
So my order I think it flows pretty well. It actually will flow from bottom to top here. Jim Croce's going to open us up, nice and relaxing. A lot of people might not know him as much, so it's a good opening act, but the people who do know him absolutely love him, and it's nice and slow. Now, this next one is a far more popular artist than the one that will follow, but it flows genre-wise better. So James Taylor is going to be next. A lot of hits, a lot of songs that people know, but flows well in that Jim Croce genre. It's going to be another kind of easing into it. Next, you have LMA. She starts to pick it up a little bit. She's got R&B vibes, but there's a little hip hop beats here and there. So we're going to flow LMA. Then you have Beyonce, followed by Jay-Z. Now, I think it's arguable that Beyonce is far larger as an artist than Jay-Z. I get that, right? But Beyonce, another R&B artist, and what you do is you get Jay-Z out there as like an overflow of Beyonce's time, and you start out with some of their songs that are together. So it's gonna flow perfectly, and then Jay-Z just has everyone hyped by the end of it. I think it's a good lineup.
I love that. I think you're spot on there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I have mine. I'm ready to tell you mine.
Go ahead.
So I'm kind of in a similar headspace. Like, it's got to be good transitions. It's got to be, the energy of the place has to kind of rise as you go. So I'm gonna start off with Fleetwood Mac. Everyone loves Fleetwood Mac music. Like, it's pretty easygoing. There's some like higher energy stuff, but it's just good music. Everyone's gonna enjoy that. So then it kind of plays off of that, like 60s, 70s like era, and it'll transition into Jimi Hendrix. He has to do the national anthem. Everyone's gonna go nuts. At the tail end of Jimi Hendrix, I want it to transition over to Michael Jackson, and I want it to be some of the stuff that Michael Jackson did in like the 80s that kind of has like rock influence, so that he could, Jimi Hendrix could be playing something on guitar, and maybe he goes right into like the Beat It sample or something. You know what I mean? Like, dun, 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 dun. Like, and they get kind of like that duet moment. That's what I want. I want every one of these to have a little duet moment.
Yeah.
Next one is going to be by far the best transition. We're going to go from Michael Jackson into Kanye West, and we're going to get the Pretty Young Thing sample going into Good Life. And that's going to be the craziest crossover transition in concert history. Like, the crowd will be going nuts. Kanye will do his thing. I don't know what he'll do. Who knows? You never know what he's going to do at a concert.
True wild card at this point.
It'll be entertaining. And then I'm just going to have Queen bring it home. Like, We Are the Champions, like that type of stuff. Like, We Will Rock You. Like, everyone's going to be so hype at that moment that, like, I don't know. I just can't imagine a better ending. And if you guys haven't seen, what's that movie called? The Queen movie.
Isn't it like Bohemian Rhapsody or whatever?
Is that what it's called? Bohemian Rhapsody?
I think so.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's good.
Dude, that is amazing. Like, I liked Queen before, but the way that they made it so real and like recreated like the Live Aid stuff, like, I just picture Live Aid, like that type of performance, and that type of atmosphere at like the tail end of my festival. And it's just nothing better than that. So that's my order. I'm happy with it.
I love it. Love it. Cobb, you got yours figured out yet?
Oh man, I don't even know. Like, you guys had such a good plan. I didn't really have a plan with the order going into it. I just wanted to hear some good music. And I was like looking at this and I'm like, wow, like nobody on here has like any collaborations. I know like some of these artists could maybe collab together though. It'd be cool, but I think I would just start something slow. I want to start slow. I think I would go Adele first, just to get us going. Like, a lot of sing-along songs, like just like dim the lights, like let her rock, let her do her thing. I think number 2, I would go Elton, just because I think they could maybe collab, and I feel like they probably have some kind of mutual respect for each other, especially both being from the UK. So I would let Elton come in second and just like liven the place up a little bit. And for some reason, I want to put Juice WRLD 3 because I've seen his performances and like he was lit. And I just feel like if the crowd's that geek, like we got to just ride it out like for another performance and go straight into Juice and just let Juice keep him up. And then 4, though, I would let it chill out a little bit again. Like, we need to relax before the final one. So like, let's go to SZA for 4. Let's just like enjoy ourselves, vibe out a little bit. And then Drizzy's got to bring it home. Like he's got to step in, and he's going to have his little moment with SZA. Everybody's going to love it. He's going to step in. He's going to crush it to bring us home.
You've seen Drake in concert, correct?
I've seen him once, bro. It was so good. Drake and Future, whenever they had dropped that album together, and it was
you and Landry Shamet.
Yeah, me, Landry, Louis Rhinemiller. Shout out Louis for the tickets for bringing me, and yeah, it was and actually also Aaron Ashby was there from the Milwaukee Brewers pitcher. He was also in the suite with us, so was. Yeah, dude, we were all 18-year-old kids just freaking about to start college sports and stuff. So it was kind of funny now to see those guys where they are. But, bro, it was so lit. I forget what song it was. I think Future started, or no, maybe Drake was singing something, and then Future came out of I forget if Drake was singing something and Future came up out of the stage, or if it was vice versa. But it was like one of their songs they had together, and everybody's like looking around to see where he's going to come from. And like he just elevates from under the stage.
That's sick.
It was so lit. It was so dope.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Oh man, well that'll wrap it up. Nick, man, thank you so much. I know we went a little long here, but I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you joining us. I appreciate that we were the first ones to get you. I know we talked about it probably like a month and a half ago, and it never worked out with the schedules. It's tough. It's tough with kids, man. It's tough. So we appreciate you having coming on with us and spending some time with us. Can't wait to get back home so we can all hang out and, man, hopefully live by each other again soon. That would be ideal.
Be nice. Hey, we always said we'd raise our families in Bethalto, didn't we?
100%, man. We always said we'd be those dudes watching every high school basketball game up at the top of the bleachers.
Yep, no shame. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you having me on. I mean, it's been a blast. Always nice talking to you guys. Like I said, I've been excited about this. I've been kind of geeking out, so it's been fun.
Thanks for coming on, man. We had a blast. Yeah. Oh wait, one thing before we go. Sorry, one last thing before we go.
Go ahead.
Okay, we got some big games tonight in the NFL. I know you're a big NFL football fan in general. Who do you got at Burrowhead tonight? We got the Bengals versus the Chiefs at Burrowhead, and then we've also got in the NFC we've got the Niners and Eagles in Philly. Who do we got, Nick? This will be coming out on Wednesday, so we'll see if you might look like a genius, honestly.
We'll see. So I think both teams I want to win are not going to win. Unfortunately, that's just what I'm feeling. I'll even give scores too. I'm going to take Chiefs over the Bengals. I really want the Bengals to win, but I don't know if they can do it again. And honestly, man, they've been kind of talking a lot of shit. I think they're getting a little too confident. Like, Patrick Mahomes is that dude. Like it's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be like go in and just walk all over.
No, it's definitely not.
No. They've been saying a little too much, I think. So I'll take them. Let's see. I think it'll be a little high scoring. I'll go 31-21.
31-21. I'm writing it down just in case. Imagine you get it right, dude. You look like the smartest man on the planet.
That'd be nuts. I think I'm less confident with the second game, but I think I'll take the Eagles. I think that they're so solid up front on both sides of the ball. I just think it's going to be too much for Brock Purdy and the 49ers. If the 49ers had that quarterback, I feel like it'd be an easy home run to choose them. I think Hurts is better, and I think they have a lot of weapons, and they're just fun to watch. I think they're a good team. So I'll take the Eagles over the 49ers. I think it'll be a little lower scoring. I mean, 49ers,
great defense.
I think they have the best defense in the league this year. So we'll go 23-20 on that game.
Okay.
So yeah. What do you guys think? Who do you want to win?
I want the Bengals to win, and I think I want the Niners to win just because I think it'd be a cool story with Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, coming out third string on the, you know what I mean? I think it would just be cool for him to get there.
That'd be cool
for sure.
And then we already said on this podcast we both think the Chiefs are going to win it all, even though neither one of us is Chief fans. But I would like to see the Bengals win. But I think the Chiefs will probably bring it home. I mean, I know Burrow's undefeated against Mahomes right now, but it's tough to beat somebody that many times in a row, honestly. Especially a team of that caliber. I think we're going to see I think it'd be cool though to see the Chiefs and Eagles, the Kelsey Bowl, also like
I
Andy
think that'd
Reid
be
Bowl
sick.
kind of. So yeah, it'd be dope.
I would like to see the Bengals and the Eagles. I don't have a strong opinion in the NFC, but I would rather have the Eagles, I think. But I think it'll be the Chiefs and the Eagles. And I think the Kelsey story is really interesting, and I think it'll make for some cool podcast stuff. So I don't actually listen to their podcast, but they have cool clips that I see on TikTok and stuff. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, for sure. That Super Bowl, if it was Chiefs Eagles, that could I could potentially see in that being one of the most exciting games. Like
No doubt.
they can both score. Like
Right.
it would be fun. I would love to see a Super Bowl that was like 48-45. Like imagine how sick that would be for everybody.
So sick.
So
sick.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. Last thing, if you haven't seen You People, I watched it last night on Netflix. New movie with Jonah Hill. It's hilarious. Also, like, give some insight, I feel like. So check it out. Great movie.
All right, I'll check it out.
All right. Well,
Sounds
that's
good.
all we got today. We'll talk
Thanks,
to y'all
guys.
next time. Peace.
See ya.
See you guys.